Hi, my name is Kyle, and I'm here at the Hmong protests. Are you aware of what is going on today?
Yes, I am, and that's why we're here. We believe in justice for all, and we have seen the injustice in Pepin County, especially on a personal basis, and we want to hold John Seifert and Sheriff Andrews' feet to the fire. Why did it take 1 month to press charges?
Nhớ xong xã tôn trí đọc trên dưới đồ bảo tiền tối tụ nó của phim mò đã của thêm mỗi cái ta cho xã bảo hay tiền như họ chạy họ insurance các chi sư.
Okay, bên tại UCare Health Partners, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Tia Medicare.
Hai chân thật cũ đã. Bên huy đó lại với một thầy một vị là cho tới thật kế với một chế sĩ trong mình này nhỏ thì một lý ngõ của luôn đã khổ thật cho đó. Để bố cô xã bảo tiền này bố kho cho nhà một chế sĩ trong thea.
Yeah, bên tại mà nếu trên để tạo rộng có mà hay đặt đến dân gì này à?
Giờ có mỏ xử lý đã nọ. Trong mỏ là chế sĩ trong là giờ chế sĩ trong. Trong mỏ là có họ cho hậu lử. Trong mỏ là có họ chờ giờ bao là bây giờ kỹ lên kỹ lạnh. Giờ có họ mua cú mò xử lý mò cho đa mò cho hậu mò to hậu xử lý giờ mò to hậu của là giờ mò to hậu chùa tua chùa đó tới giờ lì nếu giờ ba có sôngไฟฟ้า chỗ có phía đó có bao hai tiền họ có lúc đó chỉ cho bao xài rồi trả lời nếu giờ ba có nhiều ý chí rùa ý chí thiết đi có cho bó trà rồi có lòng chỉ ta lên đầu sư doctor giờ lì chứng mong có công chùa phải pha rồi công chùa lỗ tờ của tôi có lúc chỉ sợ có cho trà khía rồng tất cả tôi có chúa ý chí bút tôi có thiệt
nhớ rồng cho nhiệt gì cứ tin nâng trà đợt nọ bây giờ đó tên giờ lì bây giờ ít tu khá practice là giờ ít tu tham một tí bó trà giờ này mò đã chỉ trong vốn này tụ mò này tôi cho cô yêu bán này là bao tàu ở trường
Doctor Zali nếu mà họ chơi mò ít họ nhớ cho họ trong sample ít họ nhớ cho họ trong Minneapolis là giờ các mu cho họ được họ website xử lý www.cherylhealthclinic.com Washington.
Thank you. Có cho nhớ rằng cho cái gì cho mùa cho quý cho uncle thế cho nên giờ này tôi theo mong là biết tôi còn cái luôn đi vào trong số là thì Thái Bình mong cũng sẽ biết tôi sẽ còn về. My name is Tou Ger Xiong. Who I am is not important. Why I'm here it's more important. I'm here because this march is a movement for justice. It's about equal protection under the law. It's about human rights and violence prevention in all of our communities. It's about building and promoting racial understanding and harmony. It's about learning to live next door to neighbors who may speak a different language than you, who may eat different foods, wear different clothing for certain holidays, or who may come to this country as immigrants or as refugees. It's about acknowledging that even though we are different, we are alike. And ultimately, it's about respect for our fellow human beings. You know, the daughter of Sao Lu Vang said it best when she said, when an act of violence like this occurs against one of us, it affects all of us. Hmong lives matter, all lives matter. Yes. And I want to share with you, I'm so honored today because this journey, this movement, guys, it didn't start today. We're part of something that's bigger than one person, one family, one generation. It started 1982 in Detroit. There was a 27-year-old Chinese American named Vincent Chin who was celebrating his bachelor party. For those who know the history, for the younger folks who may not be aware, he went out for his bachelor party. His head was beat in with a bat by two American Caucasian Detroit auto workers because they felt that Japanese were taking jobs from Americans. They beat him. They were pretty much just a slap on the wrist. He was 27 years old, looking forward to get married. In 1992, 10 years later, Yoshihiro Hattori, a 16-year-old Japanese student who just came to this country as a foreign exchange student, he went to a birthday Halloween party. He went to knock on the door, but he went to knock on the wrong door. The owner of that door came out and pointed a gun and shot him right through the chest, point blank. He died at 16 years old. And because they said, oh, he appeared to be trespassing and looked like he had criminal intent because his eyes looked like ours. He looked like the other. Why is it important to speak out? Let's be honest. This isn't the first time that there was a misunderstanding between Hmong and white hunters that led to fear, distrust, animosity, and violence, and in some cases, death in the woods. You may say, well, how does this isolated incident in the woods affect me or you? We don't even hunt. Let me remind you that during the Tou Ger Xiong trial 10 years ago, in Minneapolis, this is in another state, there were people, hate groups, handing out flyers with his picture on it saying, bashing immigrant groups. There were bumper stickers. Witnesses saw bumper stickers saying, save a deer, shoot a Hmong. During that time, a mobile home in Menominee, their home was vandalized with the big letters KKK spray paint on the side of it. At the Tou Ger Xiong trial, which I attended for 6 days, there was a man dressed across the courthouse in camouflage fatigue. He held a sign that said, send Killer Vang back to Vietnam. What?
We're from Laos.
Yes, we're from Laos, exactly. On the day of the verdict, the state police specifically issued state police to patrol an elementary school in that same town. Why? Because they were fearful of what would happen to those 2 Hmong kids in that school if the verdict went a certain way, just in case. So yes, it does affect us. And as early as this morning, there was a Facebook post, and I quote from this Facebook post, trespassing is against the law. Hmong do not obey the law. Seems legit to me. Save a hunter, shoot a Hmong. That's this morning on Facebook.
That's not right.
So why does this affect us? It does. In 2007, there was a story of a Hmong hunter named Cha Vang, for those of you remember. Went hunting, never came home. The authorities later found Cha's body in a ditch and saw that he had been brutally beaten, shot multiple times. There were bullet wounds in his torso, his arms, his neck. I was also at that trial. He had been stabbed 4 times in the throat, once in the face with a large knife. He had been cut behind the ear. His body was found in a ditch, buried underneath leaves, dirt, and debris. There was a huge, heavy log that the killer put over his chest. On top of that, they found a wooden stick about 6 inches long. It was shoved down his mouth so hard, it pierced his tongue and broke his lip, broke his teeth. He left behind a young wife and 4 kids. He had just been in this country for a few years. At the trial of this murder, when they asked the killer, Mr. James Nichols of Westego, Wisconsin, why did you do it? He said, you know, you guys have never met each other before. Why did you do it? He said, oh, those Hmong people are bad. They are mean. They were disturbing my hunt.
What have we done?
What have we done?
I say this. We are here 2014, a month ago. A month ago today, a 64-year-old grandfather, husband, decorated Hmong veteran, went on a hunting trip. And like any other trip, he's been going for 20 years. Somehow, Mr. Sao Lu Vang ended up in a hospital, what the doctor called with life-threatening injuries, including lacerations to his hand that require stitches, grade 4 laceration to his liver. And by the way, I've heard from the family he was wearing 5 layers of clothing, and who is now confined to a wheelchair. These injuries were caused by landowner's son, Mr. Kevin Elbert, who happened to be a trained Marine, 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, and much younger than Mr. Vang. By the way, Mr. Vang is 5'3", measured at 117 pounds. Now, I don't speak for the family. I'm not related to them. But as a proud American and as a member of CCR, which is a group called Coalition for Community Relations, I am frustrated. I am angry. I am angry because this isn't right. Hunting is a sport for recreational fun.
NHPRODUCTIONS nó cô dân trở sinh Hmong TV trong xe tuần Jenny mỗi lúc lan nhớ thì sẽ sinh phò nhớ được cho cái vai bia theo cái nhà sĩ chùa lúc lan tự sinh tất tập bỏ nó giờ lúc lan go suy tụi chú giờ Hmong tụi chú để nó khó nơi sắm mua lúc nó mua vì tiền cơ mua ở lúc lan chỉ tụi nhẹ nhớ lúc tụi chỉ nhớ lúc chỉ trong cái cô chỉ ship bỏ mà lúc lan nó giờ lúc lan của cô ở mua customer trong mà này trong tàu họ nên tôi cả cái khử rồiอยู่ของนอนแต่นอน 有的好有空转用nhau trong đó nó khó đi bỏ tại xin nó giờ inside the lúc lan đó nó hụt the full planet nhau được cho cái vai bìa theo cái trả sĩ chùa cho cái vai bìa mà vậy cho cái lúc phải một chung theo thật trả nó mình cho trong nhau gì đó giờ có giấy tu tàu bỏ theo xa là ô là lúa nhau đồ sinh phò nó khó chờ nó là lúc lan nó vậy lúc lan trong hình ở chờ ni giờ này cho gì nên từ ta tóm ba xe giờ vừa lan có sự không nó còn hậuตัวตรงแต่รุ่นนอตัวใช้แต่อย่างนี้ทุกปอนอนี่สาวิตัวจืดรุ่นละเนี่ยมัวเป็นยี่อย่างก็สปอนตัวหูตัวสตองตัวว่าก็ปอนในทีวีสกรีนเนาะเป็นพงทีวีมัวรู้แค่มานามุจอก็นี่ปอนี่จีของตัวเรานี่สามารถปอนี่ยัดได้นี่จีตัวจอเรานี่สามารถปอเช่นนี่ปอเนี่ยอย่างเนี่ยจะหูตัวสตองตัวก็ไอ้ก็ตัวจืดเขาเปลี่ยนตัวชาที่เขายังมัวตัวไปจากตรงนี้นะเจ้แค่ตัวเนี่ยจะยาไปแค่ตอนนี้ในป่อในเจนี่ว่าตรงไอ้เพิ่งยิงย้อนจงเทียเทียนี่ป่อเทียนนอนหลังเด้อสตุจมงดัดคันตัวเทียป่อโฮทีวีป่อโฮยูทูบเลยป่อโฮมงทีวีดักคำนี่ตัวตรงไอ้เพิ่งยิงแค่ตัวนี้ว่าจนเตาวันนี้จะเนี่ยจีเนี่ยทั้งตัวใช้มงทีวีขอนี่ป่อในเยอะของกูดนู่เทียว่าสอนจงวิรุลันเนาะวิรุลันบีจีมันตัวหอหนึ่งตัวเนาะเทียตรงไอ้จนเพิ่งยิงว่าจนเตาตัวสุดา
Yes. It's not even a contact sport. But yet we keep hearing stories about hunters, Hmong hunters being harassed, bullied, injured, sometimes even killed. Think about the hundreds of stories that aren't even reported. So today I come to ask the DNR law enforcement agencies, what are you going to do to ensure the safety of hunters in the Wisconsin woods? If my dad or brother or uncle goes hunting, do I have to continue to be afraid that they might not make it home in one piece? To the District Attorney of Pepin County, Mr. John Seifert, what are you going to do to stop the violence in our communities? Do Hmong hunters have to fear for our lives when we go hunting in your county? What took you so long to announce the charges? Why are you not charging the perpetrator of this crime to the full extent of the law? Can we trust you, given your personal relationship with the perpetrator's family, to perform your role with integrity, professionalism, and without bias, as you took an oath when you swore to an oath when you took that office? And Mr. District Attorney, can we trust you to do the right thing in the name of justice? So we are asking because we have seen how the justice has failed our community before. Finally, I want to end on a positive message because when I look at Mr. Sao Lu Vang, I see my uncle, my dad, who loved to hunt. And he's a very similar story to my dad. And by the way, before when I met with the family, he wanted me to share. He said, you know, and I quote from him, he said, when I was a soldier in war, because you guys know he was a decorated soldier in the Vietnam Secret Wars for Laos. He said, when I was a young soldier, one of my main jobs was to go into enemy territory to rescue American fighter pilots who were shot down in combat. He said they will give this to General Vang Pao will give us the order and we will go. Sometimes we will risk even 10 up to 20 lives for one American soldier friend because we value their friendship. He said, I came to this country to live a better life and to live among those friends that we saved in Southeast Asia.
Yes.
I do not know why. I am saddened and confused why this man did this to me. End quote. So I'm going to end on a positive note because I think there's a lesson to be learned here. And the gentleman said, I think Shua said it best. We're praying for the family to recover, but also the family. Shua, thank you for sharing that your family is also praying for Mr. Elbert's family as well too, because like the gentleman said, some people are lost. I want to end on a positive note. 35 years ago, this lesson was from 35 years ago. I was 6 years old. Like Sao Lu's family, my family just arrived in St. Paul, Minnesota from the refugee camps of Thailand. My father was a captain in the Hmong army fighting with the CIA. So like Mr. Sao Lu Vang, my father was experiencing depression from his native homeland and having to start all over again without language and cultural skills in this new country. So a friend convinced my dad, okay? You're sad, I know. Don't talk about suicide. We're going to take you to do something fun so you have a little hope in America. They took my dad on a hunting trip in Wisconsin. I forget the name of the town. I was just 6, by the way. So on this trip, after a while, my dad got separated from his hunting party. He got lost. The sun went down. He didn't come back to the car. The group waited. They waited and they waited. The next morning, all night they didn't hear him. The next morning they went out looking for him again. They couldn't find him. They searched and searched. It was 2 days and 2 nights. When our family finally got the call that my dad had been lost for 2 days, my mom, she collapsed. Fell to the floor. She was so weak she fainted. The thought of raising all of us, we have 10 siblings, all of us on our own, it devastated her. So she began to say, she said a Hmong cultural prayer, Shi Fi Yang, you know what I'm talking about. On that 3rd day, we received a call that my dad was located, miraculously, several miles away. He had spent 2 nights in the woods. He drank water out of a stream to stay alive. He was weak, he was tired, he was hungry. And eventually he wandered up to this little cabin deep in the woods, where an older white couple was staying. The couple didn't speak Hmong. My dad didn't speak English. My dad couldn't remember the phone number. But when they saw that my dad was lost, weak, and hungry, they welcomed my dad into their cabin. They gave him food and a warm blanket. And you see, my dad lived because they didn't see my dad as a trespassing Asian hunter. They saw my dad as another human being lost in the woods. To this day, I'm so grateful to that old couple because they saved my dad's life. And because of them, I was able to grow up with a father figure. To this day, I don't know if I could ever repay them and whether or not they're even still alive. But I cannot help but think, what if they had seen my dad as a trespasser instead of a fellow human being? I can only imagine how different things would be. So, how different would things be if we saw each other as our fellow human beings instead of landowners versus trespassers? As American-born versus illegals. We are Hmong, yes, but just like you, we are Americans. Just like you, we are Minnesotans. Just like